Welcome to this week's episode of In-Depth Outdoors.
Come on, baby. That's a giant.
With James Holtz and the IDO fishing team. On the ice, chasing the hottest bites.
Oh. Look at that. This is so much fun.
This is In-Depth Outdoors.
Good morning, everyone. James Holst here with In-Depth Outdoors, and on today's episode, I'm fishing with Joel Nelson, In-Depth Outdoors Pro Staff Director, and our plan today was to run around some of the better walleye lakes in central Minnesota. And the reason I say was is because since our last airing, everything has changed regarding ice conditions. We started off the season with perfect ice, no snow, and everything looked great. And of course, as soon as I went and said something about how great the ice looked last week, we get a week of warm, wet, and windy weather that really took its toll. So Joel and I were going to hit Mille Lacs, tour north, hit Leech, and maybe even stop at Winnie before our time was done. But what we found were some pretty shaky ice conditions. So when you live in Minnesota, when ice conditions are in doubt, what you want to do is head north, and that's what we did. We headed all the way to Lake of the Woods. So we have a day and a half to get on a good walleye bite. Today we've got the afternoon, and tomorrow we've got all day long to chase some of the great big walleyes that Lake of the Woods is famous for. And as always is the case, we do have an incredibly strong storm front coming in overnight. So tomorrow should be interesting. Stick around, you're going to enjoy the show.
Oh, first fish of the year, and I think this is a pretty good one. Here we are on Lake of the Woods, and we are surrounded by the masses. If you go online, you read the reports, you talk to folks, numbers are not the problem. Catching fish up here is not the problem. Oh, there he is. Oh, come on, baby. Come on. Oh, this is a good fish, folks. Oh, there we go. Oh, here we are, folks. That's what we're after. Like I was saying, there's a lot of people out here fishing, but not necessarily catching bigger fish. And we're actually targeting the bigger fish, to no surprise, I'm sure. This fish just smoked the blade bait. I'm actually ripping it a little bit higher and counting on these fish to be a little aggressive. And the big ones have been just that. The smaller fish, they're hanging out near bottom waiting for bait. We're not gonna give them bait. We're gonna turn some big heads today with these gold blade baits. Blade baits and early ice are just a match made in heaven. The fish are aggressive. They tend to be shallow. This fish came up from literally 3 feet off the bottom and just hit it on the run. There was no one hailing the bait. There was just absolutely crushing it. If all we catch is a 23-inch fish all day, I'll be a very happy man. But that said, this one's got to go back. So we'll get her unhooked, and here she goes. Just a gorgeous fish. Yet another great fish. Here we go. And down she goes. And out we go to find more holes with more fish.
We've mentioned several times now that this blade bait pattern is a big fish pattern, but we don't want to give anyone the impression that you're not going to catch all the eaters you're going to want. In fact, this pattern will typically produce as well or better than fishing a minnow under a bobber. But the reason I think it's so effective on big fish is really pretty simple. When a big fish moves in on a bait, it's used to having that bait move away. When you're fishing a minnow under a bobber with a jig, big fish comes in, spots the bait, moves towards it, and the minnow can barely even swim away. It tries, but it can only move a very short distance. And why I think these blade baits work so well on these big fish is it allows that natural feeding reaction to take place. You get those fish close to these blade baits, the blade bait moves away. There was a lot of motion and action that pulled the fish in, so it's naturally excited, and it just allows that fish to do what it does naturally, and that's see a bait, move towards the bait, and when it tries to run away, it smashes it. There's a guy. You know, this fish is not feeling like it's going to be as big as one of the giants that Joel caught here a little bit ago. But maybe it'll make that point that this is just not a big fish only pattern. Oh, get off the ice there, buddy. Now, what I'm trying to be careful of here is I do not want to catch the other treble hook on the edge of the ice. You can see there's 2 trebles there, so I got the front one in his mouth, and that back one can really easily catch on the edge of the ice and set that fish free. You know what? My wife loves it when I bring home fresh fish. That's perfect eating size as far as I'm concerned. Lake of the Woods walleyes are fantastic to eat. So this one gets to go home with me. Hooked right in the corner there, just as you love to see them. Of course, you're never going to deep hook a fish on a blade like you might on a live bait presentation, but fantastic eater. I would expect that we're going to see quite a few fish just like this over the course of the day.
There's an old saying, you can give a man a fish, or teach him how to fish. But what if you gave him something that taught him how to fish better, smarter, faster? Seems like you've made a happy man. Markham, tech that makes anglers happy.
Some would have you believe things aren't built to last anymore. At Otter Outdoors, every day starts with the same three questions. Is it tougher? Is it stronger? Is it smarter? If the answer is no, we toss it out and start over. With the legendary Otter sled, it's built tougher. With a 900 denier shell, it's built stronger. With an extensive line of accessories, it's built smarter. Otter products are built with the hardcore ice angler in mind. Now that's something you can believe in.
Mind if I fish with you guys?
No, but if you're using custom jigs and spins lures, you better get a bigger bucket.
With Custom Jigs and Spins new tungsten heavy metal jigs, you'll get down to the big ones quickly and catch more and bigger fish. These jigs have been designed by world-renowned Croatian ice fisherman Čekaj Matin.
Čekaj #1 with Čekaj Lures Fishing. Go, Čekaj, go!
So when you use Custom Jigs and Spins, try the new tungsten heavy metal ice jigs.
Custom jigs and spins, the hottest bait below the ice.
Thorne Brothers is your ice fishing headquarters, offering a huge selection of ice fishing gear from ice tackle to ice houses. Thorne Brothers has the best prices on brands you rely on to help you put more fish on the ice. Looking for a custom ice rod? Our in-house custom rod shop makes the most sensitive ice rod you've ever laid your hands on. Stop into our new store located off Highway 65 in Blaine, Minnesota, or browse our large inventory online. Thorne Brothers, helping you make this your most enjoyable ice season ever.
There's one that is just hugging the bottom. And I want to try and see if I can get her to move. It's been our experience that at least today these fish are coming, they're showing themselves off bottom, and then they're literally racing up to grab it, not slowing down even an instant to look at it before they just smash it. So I'm not sure about this one if it's going to go, because at least earlier they were really just hitting it like a train. We've been seeing two kinds of fish coming on the flashers today. The first, kind of your traditional walleyes hugging the bottom, just kind of flickering, non-committal. Those have not been the ones we've been getting to turn. The big fish, the ones we've been catching, are actually the ones that are coming and riding in 3-4 feet off the bottom. And they'll literally come in at the same level as your bait, and the mark on your markham will just grow, and that's the kind of fish, those high riders, that have been the fish that we've been catching today. There's a fish right on the bottom. Oh, he passed on it. Nope, back higher. Oh, there, whoa. God, I love this kind of pattern, this blade bait fishing. It is awesome. We are on a bite that is just phenomenal. These fish are coming up and just slamming these baits, and I tell you what, I have always been the kind of guy that does not want to sit around in a house and wait for a bobber to go down for 4 hours. I love the fact that we can go out here and roam around and literally make our own luck, affect the outcome of the bite. It's all up to us, really. And I love the thought of being able to work harder and catch more fish. It just goes with my nature. I'm gonna try and clear that deucer. Oh, that was close. Boy, a lot of big fish are lost that way, and I got lucky on that one, to be honest. Right in the hole. Oh! I did not expect that. She fought like a big fish, but my goodness. I have no idea how big this fish is, but I'm pretty darn happy about it, I can tell you that. Oh, yeah, I absolutely annihilated it, just crushed it right in the corner of the mouth. So many times these baits, they literally hit it so hard, they hit it crosswise, they just get it lodged in their mouth and there's no coming out, so I'm pretty lucky. You know, I'll do whatever it takes to catch fish, especially fish of this caliber. I'm definitely not a one-trick pony. Whatever it takes, I'll do it, but of all the bites I'm on all winter, the blade bait, especially early ice blade bait bite, is the one that catches me the biggest fish the most consistently. See you later, girl. You've been great. Ooh, there she goes. Not even a push. She kicked that fin and is off to the races. Let's do it again.
Ah, there he is. Maybe a little better fish. You know what I love about these blades, fishing them, is you look at them, you put one in your hand, it's just so lifeless. You'd swear it shouldn't work. There we go. Another one for Mama. Oh, that guy's been through a war or two. It looks to me like he's fresh from the jaws of Mr. Pike, and a big one at that. This side too, you can really see where he's been hit and scuffed up. Well, he pressed his luck. He got away from the pike, but I'm going to take that one home. That won't affect the table quality whatsoever. You know, one thing we should talk about a little bit is color selection. Joel and I could have kind of a taste great, less filling argument back and forth for an hour about favorite colors. You know, I haven't been fishing blades quite as long as Joel has, but I really enjoy fishing that pink-white color. It's been a great producer for me over the last year. We used it up in Lake Winnipeg last March. Really caught a ton of fish, and it seems like in any stained environment, that pink with that glow white belly is just dynamite. Now if you ask Joel, he's gonna have a completely different set of recommendations, but that pink and white, for me, that's been money.
You know, right now we're on the hunt. We're looking for active fish. We've punched a bunch of holes behind us. We've covered it really well, and we're using these blades today as a search tool. Something to go out and hit a bunch of holes quickly and to call fish in from a good distance away. A lot of times with a blade, all I'm trying to do is move fish, and when you hear me use that term, it's similar to the way a trout fisherman uses dry flies to get fish to rise, simply to reveal their location so they can go back and fish them with a wet fly later. Well, blade baits are very similar in that way. A lot of times we'll just try to move fish, get them on the screen, show up on the flasher. From there, we know the fish are active and present. We can go back and fish them a little bit more methodically, slow it down a little bit, and put it right in their face exactly what they want to eat for the day.
Hello, I'm Dave Markworth. I'd like to introduce you to the Skeeter Boat Center in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. At the Skeeter Boat Center, we carry the Midwest's largest selection of Skeeter fishing boats, all at prices you can afford. And we offer test drives on most models in stock. Our highly trained staff will provide you the personalized service that you deserve. So check us out at SkeeterBoatCenter.com, where our goal is to help you have fun fishing.
There's an old saying, you can give a man a fish, or teach him how to fish. But what if you gave him something that taught him how to fish better, smarter, faster? Seems like you've made a happy man. Markham, tech that makes anglers happy.
Mind if I fish with you guys?
No, but if you're using custom jigs and spins lures, you better get a bigger bucket.
With Custom Jigs and Spins new tungsten heavy metal jigs, you'll get down to the big ones quickly and catch more and bigger fish. These jigs have been designed by world-renowned Croatian ice fisherman Čekaj Matin.
Čekaj #1 with Čekaj Lures Fishing. Go, Čekaj, go!
So when you use Custom Jigs and Spins, try the new tungsten heavy metal ice jigs.
Custom jigs and spins, the hottest bait below the ice.
Well, we're at the start of day 2 here on Lake of the Woods. We were out yesterday afternoon for a while, just kind of getting our feet wet. major change in conditions. Where yesterday everything was warm, overcast, actually even drizzly. Today the temperatures have plummeted, the wind way up. So we're hanging out here in the Otters. These are the new Otter thermal portables. We don't even have a heater running, and we've got 25-mile-an-hour winds. Still catching fish though. We're using the same baits, got the same presentations. We are very aware though that at some point today, as this high pressure cold front system rolls in, we're probably going to have to slow down our baits, maybe downsize, fish more live bait. But here this morning, they're still cracking these blade baits, so we're going to keep fishing them. You know, I kept a few fish yesterday afternoon. I don't need any more, or at least this early in the day. I'm going to let that fish go. Any fish under 19.5 inches can be kept here on Lake of the Woods, 4 per person per day. There you go, buddy. Have yourself a good one. We're sitting up in the same depth range where we started last night, 16, 17 feet. Now with the high pressure system rolling in, as things start to clear off, we're definitely going to make them move deeper. We've got houses outside of us that are kind of hanging out in that 20 to 23 feet of water. Chances are that we're going to go join them. As you get more light penetration on these fish in shallow water, chances are they're going to turn off, and that extra depth, not maybe a quarter of a mile further outside of us, will put us back on active fish.
If ever there was a day where we should put up the Otters, sit still, and not move, today would be that day. It is windy outside, it is cold outside, and there's a fine driven snow that's covering everything we own. But we're just not that style. We're gonna go out, we need to check out more spots. The fish are not here, or if they are here, they're not active biters. So we're gonna go out a little bit deeper, we're gonna push out. And folks, it's gonna be brutal out there, but I tell you what, conditions like these are what's brought the ice industry to bring out insulated ice houses, excellent outerwear. Those are the types of things that keep us fishing on days like today, even when it's not so great. So out I go into the wild blue yonder. Here we are out in our, I think, 6th, 7th spot of the early afternoon. We've been moving around a lot today. It's a completely different day. Contrasted from yesterday, we have high pressure that must be literally trying to crunch down upon those fish because what we're seeing on the LX7s is the fish are just fairly lethargic. So we're slowing down our presentations. We'd like to fish outside and hole hop, but because of the winds, that really fine dust, powdery snow, they're filling in as quick as we can really drill them. So although it's more difficult, these are the days where you go out there and you earn it. Every fish you catch, you feel a little bit better about because you know that what it takes to catch them is about 10 times more than most people are willing to go through, to be honest. Just a couple tips when fishing blade baits I like to employ. The first one I'd say is to fish it much higher than you're used to. People assume that walleyes will only hit a bait that's right off the bottom, 6 inches or so. But when it comes to blade baits, I'll fish it at least 2, up to 4 or 5 feet off of the bottom. And what that does is that allows the bigger walleyes to literally come up and ambush these baits from below, which they love to do so often. I think another tip is to also fish it low, to fish it literally in the mud, sand, whatever bottom substrate you're working with. And not to jig it off the bottom, but to literally pound it into the bottom. The weights on these baits are on the front end of them. And when you dredge the bottom, when you're pounding it into the bottom, it really helps stir up a lot of sand, dirt, and whatever. And that disturbance often drives in fish as well. So I mentioned that the baits have the weight in the front of them, they're weight forward. So when you're trying to emit a rocking action, which I also do quite a bit, you have to literally drop the bait and then shake the rod tip. You don't jig it up and then shake the rod tip. You pick it up slowly and then you drop the rod tip to get that shake and that wobble you're looking for. And perhaps the best and last tip that I could give you when fishing with a blade bait is fish it in front of an underwater camera. All of these things will make so much more sense when you're able to match what your rod tip is doing to what you can see in the camera and what the bait is doing below. And that about sums it up. If you can employ those couple of tips when you're fishing blade baits next, I'm positive it's going to catch you more fish.
Some would have you believe things aren't built to last anymore. At Otter Outdoors, every day starts with the same three questions. Is it tougher? Is it stronger? Is it smarter? If the answer is no, we toss it out and start over. With the legendary Otter sled, it's built tougher. With a 900 denier shell, it's built stronger. With an extensive line of accessories, it's built smarter. Otter products are built with the hardcore ice angler in mind. Now that's something you can believe in.
Hello, I'm Dave Markworth. I'd like to introduce you to the Skeeter Boat Center in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. At the Skeeter Boat Center, we carry the Midwest's largest selection of Skeeter fishing boats, all at prices you can afford. And we offer test drives on most models in stock. Our highly trained staff will provide you the personalized service that you deserve. So check us out at SkeeterBoatCenter.com, where our goal is to help you have fun fishing.
With blade baits being such a popular bait, I'm sure everybody has their own favorite color. I've fished Lake of the Woods enough to have developed some of my own color preferences as well. And this gold blade bait, not gold glitter, not gold paint scheme or half gold, half chartreuse or anything like that, but real gold plated makes the difference. With this flash, in this kind of stain of water, that sun hits this bait in a way that it just doesn't hit other baits, and it triggers bites time in and time out. This gold is my standby color on Lake of the Woods. And just make sure when you're looking for gold in a bait up here at Lake of the Woods that you look for a gold-plated bait. It makes all the difference in that extra shine, that extra flash that really turns these fish into biters. Yeah, here we go. Boy, I don't know what this fish is, but given the conditions today, I'm pretty happy to be catching fish at all, and we're piecing together something pretty nice here. I tell you what, it's the witching hour. The light is low, the sun is that beautiful golden color, and just everything feels right. And he feels right. Bottom of the hole. There he is. There we go. Nice little eater fish. Perfect. I tell you what, just another great fish up here in Lake of the Woods. Smack that blade bait. You know, I was talking about how the witching hour is near. We're not just seeing it in the light levels. We're not just feeling it by the watch that we carry in our pockets, but when these fish come up and they hit the blade bait like this one did, when they just race up on the markham and smash it, that's how you know the witching hour is near. So, you know, fish like this, they're almost too good not to keep. I'm a catch and release kind of guy myself, but I love to eat fish as well. So this is a perfect eater. We're gonna set him free, hook's almost out, and put him on the ice.
You know, guys often ask, or maybe they're almost making a statement, they'll say, there's no way you guys catch fish every time you go out on the water. And you know what? That's absolutely true. I always tell guys, you know what? For every great fishing trip, there's always a tough one. And this today is definitely the flip side of the coin from yesterday. Where we got out on the water, we're on fish right away. Today, everything we're getting, we're just scratching and clawing. The conditions, you know, I'm going back through my head here thinking over the last 2-3 years, this might be one of the toughest days of fishing, just from a condition standpoint, that I can remember in a long time. I mean, here's my gloves, just absolutely frozen. Boots, outerwear, everything covered with that fine, fine blowing snow that froze to everything. We're definitely the kind of anglers that love to be outside. Today I could not be happier to be inside this insulated otter. In fact, we haven't even turned on a heater today. We're sitting inside this insulated otter, and just the two of us, Joel and I, our body heat is keeping us more than warm enough. In fact, I can't see my breath. Quite a testament to what a little insulation will do to make it much more comfortable out here for an angler. So what we've done now, we've bounced around. We've spent our energy looking for a bite midday. Joel and I have picked a spot that we're confident that for us, one big fish. Any fish over 5 pounds between now and the sun goes down, and today's going to be a success. So we're set up back in shallower water, 16, 17 feet, and we're looking for that push, that migration of bigger fish moving shallow again just before dark. They're going to come up here looking to feed. All we want to do is pick off one fish. You know, despite those disparaging comments about my favorite color, I think I've got one in my favor here on the old pink and white. Now granted, Joel has completely kicked my fanny here in the last 24 hours as far as size goes, but I'm definitely up on him on numbers. Feels like a good fish, not that 5-pounder we're looking to justify the day. Come here, sweetheart. Really kicking here at the hole. Aha! There he is. You know, he's a lot bigger than I thought he was going to be. I'm just not sure how many more fish we can count on today. So we're going to end the show right here. And I've got to tip my hat to my buddy Joel. I love fishing with the guy. We have had a lot of great fishing trips, some where we've caught a lot more fish than we did today. But you know what? Today was that kind of day where it just took a lot of work and a lot of effort to stay out here and fish effectively. We got it done, sun up to sundown, and that's what it's all about. I never want to give up. I never want to leave the ice feeling like I left something on the table. So from all of us here today, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Special thanks to Sportsman's Lodge, located on the south shore of Lake of the Woods. If you're looking for a clean room at a great price and a fisherman-friendly atmosphere, give them a call at 218-634-1342. That's Sportsman's Lodge on Lake of the Woods.
If you enjoyed today's show, let our sponsors know. In-Depth Outdoors is brought to you by Markham Technologies, one step ahead. Otter Outdoors, tougher, stronger, smarter. Custom Jigs and Spins, the hottest baits below the ice. FXE Snowsuit, the science of warmth. And Thorne Brothers, your fishing specialty store.